guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackie and Judd on SKOR North and SKORNorth.com.
And a happy Reckless Speculation Thursday to all who celebrate. We may speculate recklessly today. I'm the only one without a coffee mug today.
Because you don't drink coffee.
Wake and take.
I drink tea.
Yeah, nobody said there's coffee in said mug. It just happens to be a coffee mug.
Oh, so
you know what?
A little something extra,
no,
huh?
I need
Good for
the
you.
caffeine, admittedly. By the
It's
time
bourbon o'clock for old dudes.
I know. No, trust me. Maybe later today I'll partake watching a little Thunder Nuggets Game 6. But, yeah, by the time I walked out of the TV studios last night, 12:30, 1 a.m. I'll tell you this much, though. Being in Ramp A around midnight or so, Wolves fans, even in the ramp, were having one hell of a time. There was, I'll tell you what, maybe not so much fun for one particular female. I mean, just puke all over herself. But it seemed she was in a position to rally, so it was a little puke and rally.
Been there.
Wolves fans certainly had a
there.
really, really good time last night.
I saw the aftermath in it by where I went up to floor 5. Yeah, I saw the aftermath.
Oh, man. This is why I park in Ramp C, although they close out. At midnight, it was like 1 a.m, and Judd and I were leaving from the post game. And apparently the only way you can get out of that ramp after like 1 a.m. is 394, which is opposite from where I was trying to go. So I'm like down 394. Anyways, this is a scoop session here with Darren Doogie Wolfson from the 5 Eyewitness News Sports Department. Presented in part, I was trying to drive to North American Banking Company. I don't think they're open at 1 o'clock in the morning. But they are open, during normal hours. 6 locations in the Twin Cities: Maple Grove, Roseville, Shoreview, Hastings, Woodbury, and 50th in France. And in getting to know the team at North American Banking Company, I've noticed a few key things. Number one, friendly, knowledgeable people. You actually have a face-to-face relationship with the people who handle your finances. And the safety and security of accounts, which is something that my wife and I had a problem with a former bank late in 2024 that shall go nameless. But go to nabankcode.com/Mackie to learn more. That's nabankcode.com/Mackie. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So, Dukes, you were roaming around Target Center last night, soaking in the vibes from the team after closing out the Golden State Warriors. So what were some of your key takeaways from the bowels of Target Center last night?
All right, well, post-game Phil, it was very businesslike. Okay, celebrate in the moment the accomplishment of advancing for a second consecutive year to the Western Conference Finals, but fully realizing, and to me this is the headline, that, hey, we have a long way to go. Whether it was Rudy Gobert, Anthony Edwards, Dante DiVincenzo, Jaden McDaniels in the locker room, a few other guys, team personnel, it was all about, hey, like you think about it, okay, 8 boxes checked, 8 more to go. The ultimate goal, okay, is to win a championship. You are only now halfway there. The vibe I got from multiple Wolves people, maybe not so much on the record, although I don't know why you wouldn't go on the record with this. I mean, to me, it's logical. They weren't willing to offer up, Phil, okay, do we prefer the Thunder or Nuggets? I mean, logic says the Nuggets, but they were all about go Nuggets tonight. Have these two teams beat each other up on Sunday in a Game 7. Yes, I get it. The Wolves didn't play well in Game 1 against the Warriors with 4 or 5 days off, but you want the rest. The Wolves will happily take the rest heading into a Game 1 on Tuesday on the road. But if OKC wraps it up tonight in Denver, we have Game 1 on Sunday in Oklahoma City.
So I agree. This whole thing of like, they had too much rest. Because this series, in either case, will start on the road, because you're not going to sweep. Realistically, you want to split it. So if you get Game 2, who cares?
DiVincenzo said that, yep.
Yeah, so like that's what you want. But at the end of the day, and I told these guys this on Flagrant Howell's postgame show last night, Dukes, I think that as good as OKC is, I think the Wolves' biggest obstacle now has been proven all season long. It's themselves. The Wolves are the Wolves can be their own worst enemy, potentially, and they also can be fantastic. So I don't know that it's like, oh my God, if you're going to face OKC, you're dead for sure. Like, that's it. You can't get through that. We talked about this too. So I really believe that if this team can perform, probably take a step up or two from how they played against Golden State, but if they can get to that, I think they're in excellent shape, but I think the thing that they have to worry about the most is themselves.
Agree. Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, and I do think it will be OKC, whether it's in 6 or 7. Even if Denver wins tonight, I just think OKC will win one of the next two. So I think it will be Wolves Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. OKC, and I get it, will be favored. They had a historic run in the regular season. So many wins by double digits. They turn you over. To me, that's the one area where I'm like, okay, like I think about the fourth quarter last night. The Wolves taking their foot off the gas enough, right? Like the Wolves finished with, I have the box score here in front of me, 20 turnovers. Like OKC turns you over. And so when the Wolves don't turn the ball over, like they can generate good looks. Think about last night. They shot darn near 63% from the field. Do you know how absurd that is in a playoff game, especially against that defense? Now I get it. Maybe the Warriors curled up in the fetal position to some extent, but that Warriors defense has been elite. You shoot nearly 63%. My God, we know what the Wolves are fully capable of. They just can't turn the ball over. And that's what would worry me against OKC. Plus, you think about just the amount of bodies they can throw at Ant. But who guards Julius Randle? So if you're the Thunder, are you trusting Chet Holmgren on Julius Randle? Does Jalen Williams, the one with the Y that comes off the bench, is he playing more minutes guarding Julius? To me, Julius has an advantage against OKC.
Yeah, there's so many fun little matchup things, and I mean, who knows? I mean, I wouldn't put it past Denver to get it into a game 7 and make it a grind. But just on Anthony Edwards specifically here, Dukes. Judd and I were talking last night, and Dex joining us from his palatial estate post game at Target Center. A year ago, Anthony Edwards, by his own admission, said, I didn't really understand the toll that the 2-month playoff grind takes on your body. He was not 100% by that Maverick series. He'd taken that fall against Denver in game 6, but he was kind of exhausted. His legs were not the same. And he said, now I know. And I'm going to spend the next 12 months getting to a different place. And he does the USA basketball thing. From your own observation and anyone you talk to, where do you think Anthony Edwards is at right now?
Yeah, I mean, uber motivated and conditioning wise in the best shape of his life. Now, you do think about the grind of the Olympics into this long grind of the season. But yeah, I mean, 23 years old. I mean, think about the shape Anthony Edwards is in today compared to like his rookie year. It truly is night and day. The way he's changed his nutrition, just the way he works, all sorts of credit to him, those in his camp. So yeah, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind with some sort of layoff here, whether it's game 1 Sunday or Tuesday, that Ant is going to be ready to go. And how about the playmaking last night from Ant? Just that sort of maturation on the court. Heck, you go back through these 10 games in the playoffs, how much bitching to the officials has he done? Pretty darn minimal, right? Like, okay, here and there, yeah, you throw your hands up. You're wondering, okay, I'm going to the rim. I'm missing shot after shot at the rim. I can't get a whistle. But for the most part, he's truly controlled himself. But just the overall maturation, feeling out the game, not forcing shots. It's been fantastic. But now you look forward to, maybe Phil. Yeah, could Denver win tonight? Sure. I don't see Denver winning too. So I'm already starting to think about, okay, Lou Dort guarding Ant. Alex Caruso guarding Ant. Who does Ant guard? Does Ant guard Jalen Williams? Jaden McDaniels on Shea? I'm starting to think about that. How much fun this series against OKC could be. Then the possibility. Now, could the Knicks choke this thing away?
Yes.
I mean, if they do,
Dude,
could you imagine if the Celtics come back and win this series?
People were way too quick to write that series off, dude. The Celtics, even without Jason Tatum, are a badass team.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I was texting with a high-ranking Wolves official this morning. He made the point. He goes, if Tibbs and Cat end up choking away a 3-1 lead against the Jason Tatum-less Celtics, literally, Knicks Nation will run Tibbs and Cat out of town. So from a storyline standpoint, I guess go Celtics, right? Because we want the intrigue. We want the drama. But I think the Knicks find a way. Knicks Pacers, maybe a toss-up, but sort of like the Knicks. I mean, you start to fantasize more and more about Wolves Knicks game 1, Madison Square Garden, Thursday, June 5th.
Oh,
Like at this point, you can start drifting that way.
I agree, Dukes, but don't sleep on the Pacers. The Pacers have been really impressive. And Rick Carlisle is a long-time, sneaky, really good coach.
He is. Although they still don't play a whole lot of defense. But
I'm just saying, don't sleep on them.
Offensively, no, I'm not. I mean, heck, what they've done, we can talk about how impressive the Wolves have been, going 4-1. Think about what Indiana did. Yep. Easily dismantling of Milwaukee and then doing the same with Cleveland. Now, hey, the Cavs were down some guys, but I wasn't even sure the Pacers could close out the Cavs in a game 5 on the road. So credit to them. So, yeah, clearly I need to give the Pacers a bit more credit. But I'm just saying, Wolves Knicks, like how much fun would that be? And I get it. Like I think in many ways, the winner of the Western Conference Finals, like you feel pretty darn good about the winner of the West Finals winning the championship.
Yeah.
And I get it. Jalen Brunson, Mr. Clutch, all that. I understand that. But you start feeling like if it's Wolves Thunder, the winner of that series is going to win the NBA title.
Mm-hmm. Let's do a little Chris Finch referendum here. I think this show has generally been very pro Chris Finch. The most critical I have been of Finch, and I think these guys too, was after that 24-point blown lead against Milwaukee, which was like their 27th clutch time, or whatever it was, 25th at the time, clutch time loss of the year. And just seeing time after time after time, the Wolves dominate the first 44 minutes of a game and then curl up clueless in the last 4 minutes. And I think Finch would probably say off the record, listen, maybe I'm not perfect with the out of timeout play drops, but like those guys have the answers to the test and they're not implementing them. But my criticism was your team is terrible the last 2 years in the regular season in the last 4 to 5 minutes of these close games. At some point that falls back on coaching. In the playoffs, I know they had a little meltdown a little bit last night. A 23-point lead went down to like 9 because they were sleepwalking, but they've been largely great in those situations in the playoffs here. And so, for my money, Finchy has cleaned up in the most important games the biggest problem that they've had, and B, from a 3-year long view, he's taken 2 of the craziest trades. Well, we're going to give you Rudy Gobert now, make it work. Oh, now we're going to take away Karl Anthony Towns and put Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle on this thing. A little bit of a slow start in both cases, but he has brought both iterations of those post-trade teams to the Western Conference Finals. So your thoughts on Chris Finch and I guess the organization's current thoughts on Chris Finch and the leadership structure beneath A-Rod and Laurie?
Well, they think the world of him. They really do. Like middle of the season where there were some quiet chants, especially on social media, time to fire Finch. Like they never even for like 1 second considered that, especially after giving him a lucrative contract extension last spring. But I promise, regardless of that, never once did it cross the mind of Glenn Taylor, Alex Rodriguez, Mark Laurie, other higher-ups, hey, we should make a change. Let's get rid of Chris Finch. Never. They love the man. How about this great note from Wolves PR? So Chris Finch moves to 4-0 in potential series-clinching games, becoming the 6th coach in NBA history to win their first 4 such games as a head coach and the 3rd active coach to do so, Ty Lue and Jason Kidd. But just getting these guys ready when you can wrap up a series, knowing how important last night was to not have to wait until Sunday for a game 6 in San Francisco. But hey, Phil, the Julius Randle trade doesn't happen without Chris Finch's blessing. So whatever Connolly thought about, hey, longer term, keeping Naz Reid, this offers up flexibility. Plus, fair to have the conversation with Kat here. What truly was the ceiling? Was it the Final Four like last year, getting to the Western Conference Finals, but not getting any further? But I'm just telling you, Kat would still be here if Chris Finch said, no, I don't want to do this. Chris Finch is such a big fan of Julius Randle. And so Chris gave his blessing, said, yeah, I'll make this work with Julius. It's taken some time, but how about Julius Randle? So you guys maybe noted this, but okay, so last night, game high 29 points, 13 of 18 shooting, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, marking the 4th consecutive and 8th 20-plus point game for Julius in this year's playoffs. Also, his first 25-plus point, 5-plus rebound, 5-plus assist game of this year's playoffs. I mean, the way he's getting to his left hand, the force he's playing with, the decision-making, that's why I'm telling you, like next round, we can talk about, maybe some matchup nightmares for the Wolves, but to me, for the Thunder or perhaps the Nuggets, okay, fine. I'll grant that a little bit. I don't know. Now, maybe it's Aaron Gordon if it's Denver, but OKC, like I'm telling you, Julius Randle, I think, I don't know if OKC has a great answer for the way Julius Randle is rolling right now. He's been the Wolves MVP, so we can give Ant all his flowers. He deserves flowers, don't get me wrong, but through these 10 playoff games, Julius Randle's been their MVP.
So speaking of important people who inhabit Target Center, Dukes, let's move to Tim Connelly, because he is also going to have the ability, if he wants to explore the market. And I mean, now he looks like a genius again, just like he did a year ago. So with that being said, I've seen all indications are that he is going to stay, but are you convinced that he is going to sign a multi-year contract? Because if there's a straw that stirs the drink of how the personnel here is set, it is 100% Tim Connelly.
Yeah, I see him here, but do I think the Hawks, the Nuggets, have legit interest? Sure.
Well, you got to make a call.
Do I think if Glenn Taylor wins arbitration, we might be having a different conversation right now? Yeah, I do. But with A-Rod and Laurie, I'm not worried about Tim Connelly leaving. Also, how about this just busy stretch? So before Game 5, Tim Connelly was in Chicago. The NBA Draft Combine is going on right now. The Wolves have 2 picks in the top 35, pick 17, and the first pick of the second round, courtesy of Utah. Whether they trade those picks, use those picks, but you need to do your due diligence. So the Wolves have a bunch of staff members still in Chicago interviewing prospects, watching these scrimmages, but Tim Connelly, Matt Lloyd were in Chicago, then jetted back to Minneapolis last night for Game 5. But sure, absolutely. Whether it was the Mike Conley Jr. trade, Mike Conley Jr. was brilliant last night. Hey, we figured a Dante DiVincenzo game was coming eventually. For the most part, it came last night. You think about all the moves. Yeah, absolutely. Tim Connelly deserves all sorts of credit.
Maybe you've answered this, and I am just a space cadet. But when are we going to get the NBA Board of Governors vote to make this thing official?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. We didn't even do any, pre-show prep or anything. I've briefly brought it up a couple weeks ago, but I was told at the earliest, right around now, like mid-May. I was told mid to late May at the absolute earliest. Now, Adam Silver, somebody with the Wolves reminded me of this the other day. Adam Silver, he gets, capturing the headline and capturing the news cycle. Well, okay, let's say OKC wins tonight. So Game 1 Sunday, Game 2 Tuesday, Game 3 not until Saturday the 24th. Big gap between Games 2 and 3.
Okay.
This is more reckless speculation on this Thursday. Not the part of the earliest it was going to be was mid to late May. This part, though, is reckless speculation. Why not do it on Thursday, May 22nd? Now, I get it. You're entering a holiday weekend, but get it out there. It's a foregone conclusion. There's nothing to worry about. It doesn't need to be necessarily at the next Board of Governors official meeting. They can vote remotely. Now, they may wait until the official next Board of Governors meeting, so I don't have the official date here in front of me, but multiple people with the Wolves led me to believe at the earliest, this was going back to mid-April. Hey, nothing's going to happen for weeks. At the earliest, mid to late May, but we are approaching when that is going to happen.
So who accepts the LOB from Silver?
I know. Yeah.
Who gets it?
Yeah, I know. Well,
like a pulling of the trophy match and
by
the damn thing breaks?
17th, June 18th, the Wolves wrap up the championship in 6 or 7 games. 6 would be great because it would be at Target Center. It's Mark and Alex. Now, they may very well be graceful and invite Glenn and Becky up and maybe hand off the trophy and, just be the bigger people.
I'm okay with that.
In that moment.
He can't touch it.
Mark and Alex at that point are the majority owners. So they get it. Now, the question is between the two, who gets it first? Is it Mark?
Well, Mark, I think Mark's got a bigger chunk in there, right?
Well,
so maybe Mark
can
Mark
sort of
gets to
share
hold
it at the same time. I'm fine with that. I'm more curious about
from what I can gather. Mark is relatively egoless, and And Alex is pretty darn front and center. I mean, he put a social media video out right in front of Kieran's last night, throwing bags.
It is
right?
like tight white sweater. He's like throwing bags.
I know.
It was hot in there too. I'd be sweating up a storm in that sweater.
Is this the happiest, like including the stretch where, he had the high profile J-Lo relationship and they were very happy out at big public events and stuff. And I'm not going to pretend to know him personally, but I feel like this is the happiest we've seen Alex in the public eye ever. Like including when he's out in his little sweaters, mingling with fans. He's in the bowels of Target Center. You're like Judd and I go back to get a Diet Coke or whatever, and there's A-Rod holding court outside of the courtside club inside the tunnel.
When I'm walking out last night, you should have heard the commotion in the owner's suite. It was.
Oh, it's hopping again.
Just bumping? Was it bumping?
Yeah, it was. It was a dance party, to put it lightly. Yeah, it was loud. As I walked by in the bowels of Target Center, so they certainly were having a really good time. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he was the first pick in the draft coming out of high school in Miami. I mean, maybe in that moment, celebrating that, his early run in the big leagues before some things went a bit sideways. But sure. I mean, at least in a really long time. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's like going out on a limb suggesting this is the happiest he's been. Yeah. I mean, he loves it. And I'll tell you what, Wolves players love him.
Yeah.
Like there is a legit bond that has been formed. So it's a credit to A-Rod and some people close to A-Rod just cultivating those relationships. But I know Alex is pretty tight with a number of players.
Yeah. We'll keep going through Doogie's scoop bag here and get his thoughts on the Vikings schedule in a moment. But how about a celebratory legit pizza? Pep's Legit Pizza, available inside the frozen section of grocery stores around the Twin Cities. You can find legit pizzas at a store near you. This is the best frozen pizza, in my opinion, on the market right now. So go fire up that pizza oven. You throw it in there for about 15, maybe 16 minutes. And you enjoy. Cut that thing into squares. They got a bunch of different supreme sausage and mushroom, pepperoni. I love the cheese with some crushed red pepper and some hot sauce on it too. There's different ways you can enjoy your legit pizza experience. So check them out, Pep's Legit Pizza. Also, Dennis Kirk. So mark your calendars for this. If you're into riding season and you're interested in people who build their own rides, you can go to the second annual Minnesota Garage Build Bike Show powered by Dennis Kirk at Running Aces Casino, Saturday, June 7th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's free to register your bike and to attend. It's open to garage builders, folks who've been working hard on their rides in their garages, and you're looking to show off your work. Kids and families are welcome, and they got 15 different class awards to be handed out. So Running Aces, Saturday, June 7th, the second annual Minnesota Garage Build Bike Show powered by Dennis Kirk. More info at denniskirk.com. Any other final Wolves things, or do you want to sling some Vikings schedule takes at us, Dukes?
Yeah, let's go Vikings. I mean, just a reminder, I'm telling you, like, there's 4 or 5, if not more, actually more than that, Wolves staffers right now in Chicago, like grinding away at the draft combine. So, I mean, I know it's not on the forefront of everybody's thoughts, but the Wolves behind the scenes are doing all sorts of draft homework right now.
Yeah, it's kind of. I thought all their draft picks for eternity were traded to Utah. I was told that there was no future after the Rudy Gobert trade. I don't know. That's what I was told 3 years ago. I don't know. Maybe I
I'm telling you, did anybody think 6 months ago that the Wolves would have a first round pick this year? The fact that Detroit made the playoffs comfortably, made the playoffs.
Your guy.
A reminder of how great JB Bickerstaff is.
JB Bickerstaff,
It's a tough team.
Mm-hmm.
They just. I think, and they were the better team in some of those games that they lost too. So they're going to be a problem. I think the Vikings schedule is very gettable in the first month and a half, and then they have one of the top 5 strength of schedule, hardest schedules in the league, and business picks up after the bye week with that brutal stretch against Philadelphia and Detroit, the Ravens, like that. And the Chargers on a short week. But I think with a first-year starting quarterback, you get the Bears at the right time. You don't have to worry about playing in that cold weather in January. You get the Bears in September when they're still trying to figure out Ben Johnson, first-time head coach. And that Bengals defense that can't stop anyone from scoring 35 points comes to U.S. Bank Stadium. So I think it actually sets up pretty nicely early on, despite the tough nature of the strength of schedule rating, Dukes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good about betting the over of, 8.5? Is that still the Vegas over-under on win totals? After looking at the schedule, I feel even better about betting the over of 8.5 because, what you noted, early in the season. Now, you're right, after the bye. Philly at LA on a short week, at Detroit, Baltimore at home. Here, selfishly, is what I notice. There are 4 games up for local bidding, TV-wise. There's a Netflix game, there's a Prime game, there's 2 NFL Network games. So very, very selfishly, I hope the company we work for gravitates towards trying to secure the rights to those games. Certainly we'll have the opener at Chicago, Monday Night Football on ABC. But I mean, I have no problem with it. I mean, Declan, I liked your tweet that they don't have back-to-back noon games until weeks 9 and 10, November 2nd and November 9th. So that certainly jumps out. But otherwise, I think it's fine. I mean, give me Michael Penix early in the season. Give me Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, that Bears team early in the season. The Bengals, who the heck knows what happens with Trey Hendrickson? I mean, I'm fine playing the Bengals early. Now, with Joe Burrow's injury history, you figure, okay, he'll be okay week 3. If you play the Bengals week 13, maybe it's a little bit more up in the air. But I have no problem with it whatsoever. Still waiting to know if Aaron Rodgers ends up with the Steelers. But Steelers, Browns, not having to play those true road games, so only 7 true road games. I like it. I mean, I don't get why the Vegas over-under win total is so low. That's what's baffling to me. What am I missing on that?
First time starting quarterback. I mean, how many over-unders have been 9 or 10.5 with a guy that hasn't started an NFL game?
I suppose, right? I mean, that's the easy
Probably
comeback. I mean, you guys know where I stand on JJ, though. I mean, incredibly bullish. Nice to see McCarthy and Jefferson courtside bonding last night. But just everything you hear about JJ McCarthy, I don't know how he's going to fail. Now, maybe he doesn't have, quite the season that Sam Darnold had last year. So maybe it'll be a while until he hits his ceiling. But I just don't know with Kevin O'Connell calling plays, the tutelage of Kevin O'Connell, Josh McCown, how JJ McCarthy would fail.
That's an interesting point about McCarthy, and let me say this too. I don't think he will be expected to have the season that Sam had. Look at the infrastructure now. Like this is going to be a different, in my opinion, this is going to be a different offense. It's not going to certainly rely on the run, but it will at times. Like if you look at, I feel like Darnold, KO liked him, and he threw him in, and he's basically like, okay, let's see what you can do. And he was very, very good for an extended period of time for the most part. I feel like with McCarthy, it's an actual long-term investment. And so Darnold was like a car that you buy and you're like, I'm pedal to the metal and let's see if the car falls apart. And eventually it did. McCarthy is like a vintage car, right? And you're going to take care of it. Because when you look at the fact that the offensive line now, I mean, how much better is this offensive line than a year ago doing the scoops that line was? How much better, because potentially of Jordan Mason, is the run game? Because now that there's a 1A and 1B, it's not Aaron Jones has to do this. So I would say we don't need to expect for McCarthy and O'Connell to do what Darnold and O'Connell did. I think it's going to be a different look, which means that McCarthy's going to be relied upon at times, but the asks, in my opinion at least, are going to be very different, Dukes.
Oh, agree. Plus, I mean, even coming off the surgery, like, he can move, he can run, and so I think we'll see him taking off a little bit. Not that Sam didn't from time to time, but I think McCarthy will take off a bit more. I'm telling you, the more people you talk to, I haven't heard anything bad. And trust me, like I dig enough, right? On background. I don't need to necessarily quote you. Not that I would be spewing all sorts of negativity on background, but I haven't heard it. I really haven't. And so I loved him pre-draft. There's nothing that I've heard that leads me to change my mind. I think he's going to be really, really good.
Yeah. The bonding, the team chemistry taking place courtside last night. It was palpable. The connection.
How about Steph Curry after the game making his way over there?
Yeah.
Right? Greatness, recognizing greatness. In particular, Justin Jefferson. So Curry had a nice conversation with Jefferson. But yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I can confirm. Listen, I was watching every like 3 or 4 minutes. I'd I would check in. Judd had the field goggles there,
Oh,
the
field glasses were in play last night.
So he could maybe say more.
Yeah.
But
Military,
sometimes when you commit to an event that's like 2.5 or 3 hours, things can maybe, if it's not someone that you're super tight with, you can maybe get a little awkward. Or there were no lulls. No lulls. Those guys were deep in conversation. The body language was strong from, I don't know, the 30 rows up that Judd and I were.
I absolutely love it.
Team chemistry, very strong.
JJ just has a command, right? Like, he exudes
it factor.
Confidence. Yes, the it factor, however you want to define it. Yep. He absolutely has it. Yep. And so, I don't think he could ever fail in such a situation.
Dukes, we got to run here. Give us like a minute of anything left in your scoop bag here.
Sure. I was over at Eastridge High School the other day bonding with Gophers basketball commit from the class of 2026, point guard Cedric Tomes. He's a really good football player. He is going to continue to play football. So he will play. He told me his plan is to play football next fall, his senior year for Eastridge High School. Oh, by the way, Nico Medved, Dave Thorson, they're okay with that, right? Like the conditioning, the leadership. Yeah, there's an injury risk, but they're plenty fine with their 2026 commit playing football. The kid can play. Really good shooter. I mean, Ben Johnson was all over him, but so was Colorado State. When Nico was at Colorado State, he recruited Cedric pretty good. And so it was a seamless transition, especially with Dave Thorson remaining on staff here. And Cedric said, hey, like I knew the time was right. It's not like I needed to wait until the fall or sometime later. Wanted to play at home, had a bond with the Gophers, knew Nico from when he recruited me at Colorado State. So he's super happy just in talking with him the other day on camera, off camera about being a Gopher. The one other thing I'll note, Minnesota Lynx open their season tomorrow in Dallas. Noted that Alana Smith, quad injury, very questionable. So that's unfortunate. The latest odds just came out, Bet Online. The Lynx are 15-4 to win the championship. So New York Liberty 9-4, Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark 11-4. The Las Vegas Aces in the West 7-2. Then the Lynx come in at 15-4. Caitlin Clark and Asia Wilson ahead of Nafisa Collier for MVP odds. Yeah. But she is number 3, still one of the faces of the league.
Love it. Darren Doogie Wolfson from the 5 Eyewitness News.
Declan, how about your Twins? You ever going to lose again?
No, you can't let the Twins get hot, dude. I've been telling everyone for weeks, don't let the Twins get hot.
And I haven't looked. Who matches up for, what is it, the Monday game against Cleveland? Is it Festa?
I believe it's a Sunday. And
Zebby. Or is it Sunday?
Yeah. It sounds like it's going to be Zebby.
Okay.
Because
Simeon Woodridge has been optioned. Yeah.
Yeah. Festa was skipped the last turn in St. Paul because of fatigue. He isn't in line to start this weekend for St. Paul, but sounds like it could be Zebby.
Got it.
Should be Zebby.
Good note. I'll try to confirm that here in a little bit, but I'm sure you're all over it. So good stuff.
All right, Dukes. Good stuff. Enjoy your weekend.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend. We'll chat next Tuesday.
Sounds good.
Will that
Darren,
be game 1 or game 2? We'll find out soon enough.
Yeah. All right, guys. Minnesota Sports with Mackie and Judd.